All right, it's Sunday morning here in, where are we, Warrensville Heights?
Yeah.
We're in Warrensville Heights, and I have the great opportunity this morning to take Mom over to the neighborhood in which she grew up. I've never seen the house she grew up in. Is it a big house?
Well, there are a couple of houses I grew up in.
You grew up in a couple, okay.
Yeah.
What city did you grow up in?
Cleveland Heights.
You grew up in Cleveland Heights, and then were you born? Were you born? I'm sure you were born in where? Cleveland Heights.
Yes.
Okay, so you were born in Cleveland Heights, and the first home you lived at?
Was on South Taylor
South Taylor.
in Cleveland Heights.
Taylor.
That's right.
Okay, so you lived at South Taylor in Cleveland Heights, and how
A
long
short
did you
time.
live there?
Oh, I think just probably till I was around 3 or 4.
About 3 or 4. Okay, and then the family got bigger, and you needed a new house.
No, we just my grandfather was sick, and they sold the house, and we moved to Stillman
Stillman,
in Cleveland Heights.
and that's Stillman.
That's right.
So you lived at Stillman. What was the address on Stillman?
I believe it was 2606.
2606. We'll find out if we have a chance to go drive by it. And when you were growing up, was it what type of neighborhood was it? Working class?
It was a very nice neighborhood. It was during the Depression. The home we lived in was owned by the bank, and we lived on the first floor of a 2-family home. And then the bank sold the house, and it was a decision that the new owners, whether they wanted to live on the first floor or the second floor, and they chose the first floor, so we had to move.
Huh.
And at that time, I believe I was about 9 years old, or turning 9.
Mm-hmm. Did your mother, Madeline, right?
Yes.
Was her name Madeline Sawhill? Did she work outside of the home at all?
Absolutely not. No women worked outside the home.
No
in
women
that
worked
age.
outside the home. Okay. And then did your mom let you use Facebook when you were young?
Tom.
All right. No, your dad was working. What was your dad doing back then?
He was managing a neighborhood department store. There were no big malls or strip malls or anything like that. They were just neighborhood stores.
Uh-huh. And the neighborhood, did you have a lot of kids?
There were quite a few kids in the neighborhood.
Yeah. Was the neighborhood back then, like Cleveland has a real diverse ethnic population, and at the turn of the century you had a lot of people immigrating into the United States. Cleveland was pretty much divided, if you will, into ethnic neighborhoods, yes?
Yes, and partially it still is, but Cleveland, that era, I would say, was very segregated. There were no, just white people.
Just white people.
Lived in our neighborhood.
Uh-huh. Now, was it were there mostly Irish in your neighborhood, or?
Oh, I don't know.
You don't know. You didn't even think about that much. And growing up, so you left the home on Stillman at what age? How old were you when you left for college?
No, I didn't leave there. We left there when I was about 9 years old.
Oh.
I moved over to Cottage Grove.
So that's the third home.
Yes.
Okay. And what city was Cottage Grove?
Cleveland Heights.
And what would you remember the house number on that?
1955.
1955. Okay. What were you doing in 1955?
Going to school.
You were, huh? Okay.
Oh, in 1955? No, I was getting married.
What were you doing in 1955? You got married what year?
1955.
Okay. So so going back in growing up in these homes, Stillman, and what was Cottage Grove?
Right.
And what was the first one? South Taylor.
South Taylor.
Growing up in Cleveland Heights, if you will, what did today kids are playing on computers. You can't go anywhere without seeing kids in front of something electronic. What do you remember growing up as far as what you were doing back then? Were you playing playing dolls? Were you, you know, were the boys playing army? What?
I played with my dolls, and then over on Cottage Grove, we had a large, in fact, I don't know where they are, but we took some neighborhood pictures of all the kids, and we would start out after the chores were done, going up to the field, which was at East Overlook and Lee Road. It's not there anymore, but playing baseball. Then in the afternoons, we used to go to more or less have quiet time and play board games on somebody's back porch or yard. And then at night after dinner, we used to play kick the can or hide and seek.
Wow.
Well, those, we were outside all the time.
Now, were you good at kick the can and hide and seek?
I don't even remember.
Did you play baseball?
I did, but I was not good at baseball.
You were not good at baseball. And then what was the other, the board games? I'm curious, what board games they played back in the 30s or 40s? Did they have Monopoly back then?
Oh, yeah.
And what other ones did they have? Any?
What is that one? Chinese checkers.
Chinese checkers. Uh-huh.
And can't think of the others.
Okay.
But there were quite a few.
Did you have a good friend back then? Did you have like a best friend when you were growing up in Cleveland Heights?
I had, her name was Peggy O'Hara.
Uh-huh.
She was, and all the kids in the neighborhood were just all good friends.
Wow.
Playing.
Uh-huh. Oh, great. Okay, so why don't we take everybody over, and we'll, time permitted, either before church. We're going to go to church today, and either before church or maybe right after church, we can just swing by and take a look at the homes. Now, you did attend this church that we're going to today, right?
Yes, I was born. I was baptized, made all of my, received all my sacraments there. Was married there,
And the name of the church?
St. Anne's.
St. Anne's. Okay, so we're going to go to St. Anne's, and either before or after we'll stop by and take a trip down memory lane. And you know, before we go, I just got to share something with you. You know, I'm 40. I've known you how long now? I've known you 48 years.
Yeah.
And just the other day, just yesterday, I found out that you don't eat salad.
Well,
That surprised me.
I used to eat salad.
Oh, you used to eat salad, but not as much anymore.
Right.
All right. Anyway, so let's hit the road, and we're going to take a trip down memory lane with Mom. All right, so here I am with my mom pulling up Stillman Lane here in Cleveland Heights. A lot of trees. Did you plant one of these trees, Mom?
No.
No? And my mom's saying that her home is going to be up here on the left somewhere. It's not a very big street.
I think it was that house. This house right here.
Where?
But it's changed right over here.
We passed it, this house.
But it's changed so that you wouldn't recognize it.
Okay, so I'm gonna pull back around and we'll get a good look at it. All right, so this is the home that my mom grew up in. It's here on Stillman Lane. She lived here till she was about 9, and her family lived in the downstairs of this home, and there was another family living in the upstairs. And the home had 2 bedrooms, and as my mom was telling me, she used to sleep right over here in the sunroom of the downstairs unit. That's where my mom used to sleep here. And I'm gonna just walk around a little bit and give you a good look of the house, and then do a little pan. And the school that she went to was actually right up at the end of this street. So it was. This is the neighborhood that they used to play kick the can and hide and seek and all of that. So I'm sure that when my mom sees this on YouTube and shares it with her brother, that it'll bring back some good memories for them, I'm sure. So this is Stillman, and then we still have to see the home, the other 2 homes that she grew up on. And then right down at the end of the street is where I'd imagine that they walk up to school. So we'll go up and see the school and the church, and then look at the other homes that, or the other home I should say, that she grew up in. All right, so what you're looking at here, this is the sidewalk that young Ann Sawhill used to walk up and go to school, and her house is just down there on the left. And if I turn around over here, we'll just take a short recreation of the walk that my mom would have seen when she was going up to school. A lot of trees on this street. And the road right up here is Cedar. And there is St. Anne's School. That's where my mom used to go to school when she was little. She lived here till she was in the 9th, I think she said 9 years old. And that's the school that she used to go to. And right behind the, I should say rather, right adjacent to the school is the church. Was the church, I should say. And now I don't know what that building is. My mom didn't say, but it's probably a place where the church staff or the priest live. But and then right across, or right behind that rather, you can see the tower of St. Anne's Church here in Cleveland Heights. So we're going to go on inside and enjoy a Sunday service, and then head on over to the other home where my mom grew up here in Cleveland Heights.